the grievance and the issues of the common people who are not of the policy making process. So इस ऑब्जेक्टिव को ध्यान में रख करके स्किल को बढ़ा देगा। बट अगर आप इसके पार्ट बन जाओगे तो ये आपकी जो सोचने की क्षमता है उसको कम भी कर देगा। सो आपको ये डिसाइड करना है कि आप इसके थ्रू यू वांट टू अ ग्रेटर इम्पैक्ट or you want to just be part of that. We don't need to be afraid of technology, but we need to know how to use it. So it's very essential to educate people about the technology.
Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to another episode of EduTalks by AB and Abhishek Goral Initiative. So today we have a very special guest. Today we have Dr. Ramanand, who's the Director of Center of Policy Research and Governance, CPRG, with us. With a strong background into policy advisory, he has worked very closely with the Ministry of Education on different aspects of national education policy. His work at CPRG focuses on bridging academic research with governance and innovation. Welcome to EduTalks by AB, Dr. Ramanand.
Thank you, Abhishek.
So, hitting directly onto the core of our conversations, if you can tell us a little more about what inspired you to find CPRG and how has its mission evolved over time? So right from 2016 to current date of 2025, how has CPRG's direction changed in terms of policy reform?
So Abhishek, we have started CPRG to create a platform for the public, so public can participate in the policy making process. So the primary objective of the CPRG to create a space for the normal public, the public who are not a part of the policy making, but they have to face the consequence of the policies. Uh, you know, Before 15, 20 years, it's usually bureaucrat and politician who usually formulate the policy without understanding the real issue, real problem of the public. So with this objective, we have started this organization, and to achieve our objective, we have created a lot of platform and we have started a lot of initiative. The one of the initiative which we have started in around 2018-19, that was to create a platform for the hilly state. The hilly state, usually they have very less in the population. Because of the less population, their representation in the parliament is also very low. Because in all kind of democracy, it's a population which matters. Because of their unique positioning, unique geographical positioning, they have lot of some inherent issues. And the policies, either it's development policies or economic policies or industry policies, usually formulate by keeping the interest and by keeping the issues of the plain or masses. So your public policy ka perspective, it's a totally mass based. So our focus was to how we can address the grievance and the issues of the common people who are not of the policy making process. So इस objective को ध्यान में रख करके we have started this organization.
That's so great to know. And while you were saying, it brings back memories of when first I started to observe policies that it's for the people and by the people. So definitely, जैसे आपने पूरा explain किया कि CPRG कैसे formulate हुआ था, it is very, very important for people to probably understand that they are part of that entire process and it's for them. Is there any which way in which you are also integrating in your policy research different reactions from the grassroots level, and how do you integrate that into policy making? It's very intriguing to for people to get to know that how is that research getting integrated to when policies are formulated.
So, Abhishek, we have created a platform named Samvad. So through Samvad, we have invited in 2023, sorry, 2023, yes. So we have invited representatives of from the tribal community, representatives of the teachers, and kind of people who used to guide people about that, you can say informal teacher from the tribal community, and we have invited and on the platform of National Commission of Jewel Tribe, where they have discussed, they have shared their experience, their views on the education, on the tribal policies, on the health policies. So the primary objective of that samvad was to understand the policies from the perspective of the people who are experiencing it. So we usually, at lot of platform, on many platforms, usually policymakers shares, experience about the policy. उनको policies कैसी लग रही है and उन्होंने कैसे बनाया. They usually share कि we have formatted this policy and it's doing amazing work. It has impacted too many lives. You mostly listen those views on lot of platforms. But through our initiative, we have invited tribal people to share their views on the particular policy. And we have asked policymakers to sit in the crowd and understand those policies which they claim they have made or they were part of or they are implementing on the ground, how these people are experiencing it. So it was, at the end, it was a very great experience. At the end, lot of policymakers, ministers have shared their views after listening those experiences, and they have realized what they were thinking about the policy and what actually people are experiencing. It's two different things. There is a gap between you know experiencing on the ground and implementing from the top. So there was clear gap, and from those points, from those things, we are still doing a lot of things around that objective only. So yeah,
That's
thank.
that's very very nice to know that how you're bringing together the end beneficiaries of policy to people who are formulating it and getting to have a bridge between what the actual beneficiary implementation is vis-a-vis to somebody who is there making that policy and looking at formulating it. That's like, I think we can go on discussing about it, but I'll quickly go on to the next bit that I have in mind, that we everywhere on the Indian media there was CPRG's PadhAI Conclave. Okay, so the per AI in that sense, which is a very fascinating initiative. So I would really want to know what gaps in the India's education system was CPRG trying to address through such a conclave, and the name itself is so unique, which kind of shares about the AI part of it. But I would want to know more from you, and in terms of what is the gap that you were trying to address through it.
So Abhishek, we have started a new initiative named Future of Society. Future of Society is a part of CPRG. I am the founder director of that initiative, and we have created this Future of Society lab in 2024, early 2024, and the primary objective of Future of Society lab to understand the impact of impact of the technology on the society. So not only AI but other emerging technology, how they are kind of influencing societal behavior and how they are, and it's kind of a other way around also. Sometimes society also reinforcing some of their habits, some of their behavior on the technology part. So sometimes technology change the societal behavior, and sometimes society also change the particular working of the technology, or shape the kind of the future, or kind of the development of the particular uh, part of technology. So under this initiative, we are working on different industry, different sectors. So 2 months before, we have organized this PadhAI Conclave. So the basic idea behind was PadhAI Conclave. We have done some research to understand the educational landscape of the India, how Indian educational institution, Indian students or faculty members, how they are responding to the particular technology, and how technology, whether it is helpful for them, and what kind of reaction they have. So we have released that report, and in that light we have discussed with all kind of educational administration, educators, students, researcher, regulatory bodies, how they are responding to the technology, because nowadays technology has become the integral part of our life. It is affecting every moment. It is uh, still we are having conversation through technology only. Even when we are talking through technology, we have also lot of technological tool our surrounding, and it is also distracting. It is controlling our behavior. It is doing lot of things. So the basic concepts of the classroom, the basic idea of classroom, the basic idea of education institute are getting challenged by these technologies. So how in this atmosphere, how our educational institution are responding to those challenges? What are they plan they have in future, and what kind of tool they are applying on it? So that was the basic objective.
Great. Thank you so much. But it kind of raises a question here. Although in one question, I'm sure I cannot summarize the report part of it. But what would be that one challenge that you think is one of the most burning issues when it comes to implementing AI in grassroots level studies? Is it the overwhelmingness of having the use of AI, or is it more people-based bit? What would you say from your experience and research? What is the main challenge which is a burning issue?
I think the using technology is not a bad thing. It has become the part of our journey. So we have to use it either, but the fundamental question is whether you are using it as per your understanding, as per your requirement, or you are it has become your habit. It has become, it is controlling your behavior. So you have to be very careful. You have to conscious about these development. So sometimes people think they are using technology, it's a great use, but by using those technological tool, sometimes it is kind of getting into it. It is getting into ourselves, and it is basically controlling our normal behavior. So we need to be careful about this development. In Indian context, what I am observing, we are we are getting afraid of the technology, but we don't need to be afraid of technology. What we do need to do, we need to understand you know the kind of the how we can use in a particular manner, so it cannot affect our basic overall behavior, our understanding, our creativity. So it is just like I will say कि ये एक कैटलिस्ट का वर्क कर सकता है. इट कैन वर्क लाइक ए कैटलिस्ट। ये आपके प्रोडक्टिविटी को बढ़ा देगा, ये आपके स्किल को बढ़ा देगा। बट अगर आप इसके पार्ट बन जाओगे तो ये आपकी जो सोचने की क्षमता है उसको कम भी कर देगा। सो आपको ये डिसाइड करना है कि आप इसके थ्रू यू वांट टू अ ग्रेटर इम्पैक्ट और यू वांट टू जस्ट बी पार्ट ऑफ दैट सिस्टम। सो दैट इज द बेसिक गैप।
I really liked the example that you kind of gave, whether you want to be an enslaved to it or a catalyst. It will definitely raise a lot of questions in the younger minds, in that sense. Coming to the catalyst side of it, so we have heard about AI transforming research dynamics overall in that sense, and definitely as part of the national education policy, there is so much that is spoken about in terms of industry and academia collaborations. Part of it, a huge chunk of that collaborations is about data sharing, without which I think you have said it in different platforms as well, that without data sharing, it does not make any sense of just developing AI, because all of that is data oriented in that sense. How important do you think, when we are looking at industry academia collaborations, is it to share raw data? Does academia, do we have we reached that level of academia where we are able to interpret all of those raw data from the industry, or are we, it'll still take us some time to kind of reach there? What do you think?
So if we are talking about universal setup or global setup, uh, it's it is already happening across the globe except Europe. So in China, in US, in some part of UK, they are sharing data. They are making good tool. They are making good technology by sharing data from the academia, from the industry. They are sharing with each other, and they have that kind of setup. In Europe, they still have some reservation. That's why they are not able to get what other part of the world have done, like US and China, or in some part of Asia. In Indian academia, in India, you know we have seen what kind of research we are doing in our academic field. I will say it's not very good, but it's not a very bad also. We are doing average things, but industry academia collaboration is not very good in compared to other part of the world. But undoubtedly AI could be one of that bridge which can can fill the gap. It can enhance our research capability. At the same time, it can also decrease our research capability. As I told earlier, it is up to the researcher how they will use it. If they are using it as a tool, it will enhance their research thing, it will enhance their skill. But if they just want to replace the human with the technology, it is it is not going anywhere. uh, we will not able to achieve what we are projecting right now. So we need to be very careful about this. So if you want some kind of assistance from the any AI tool to such kind of research, just give the kind of you can see the uh, very layman example. So normal medical field में we usually struggle with a lot a lot of lab issue कि हमारे पास कुछ नहीं है, material नहीं है. Sometime in medical we don't have that kind of organ to perform certain surgery to understand those things. So through AI we can have a lot of things. So हम उसका एक 3D dimension देख सकते हैं. We can understand everything through the AI and other emerging technology. But if we just want to kind of कि उनको हमें लगा कि ये तो ऐसे ऐसे हो गया है and we don't need to get into it, जब होगा तो हम कर लेंगे, just like kind of that approach, if we will become a bit lazy because of that thing. So फिर तो हमारा जो नॉलेज बेस वो डाउन मतलब डिप हो जाएगा. Normal, what why I'm saying, because we have that kind of tendency कि we usually find a escape route, कि हम इस कैसे हम किसी भी चीज को स्किप कर सकें और हम दूसरे रूट से निकल जाएं. So not only in our society but lot of societies that kind of tendencies कि जहां पर लोगों को लगता है कि आसानी से कैसे हो सकता है. So AI is very, AI provide us very, uh, easy tools, but at the same time it can also make us very lazy or very, kind of thing. So हमें उसको समझना होगा कि हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं. And it's a role of policy maker, regulatory bodies and other part of other people, other people, कि हम उस रूट पर ना जाएं.
Right, and in fact, Dr. Ramanand, while you were explaining it, I fondly remember Narayan Murthy from Infosys categorically mentioning when we had India influx of ChatGPT, that how ChatGPT can actually help us increase our productivity than we replacing human productivity with such GPTs in that sense. So what you mentioned about PadhAI definitely falls in line with what you
Yeah,
mentioned.
I think we don't need to be afraid of technology, but we need to know how to use it. So it's very essential to educate people about the technology. So technology usually always invention to help people, to help the society, and हमें उसको उसी टाइप पे लेना है. हमें ऐसा नहीं करना कि टेक्नोलॉजी हमें चलाने लगे.
राइट, आपने बहुत बार पहले बताया हुआ है फॉर पब्लिक सेंट्रिक डेटा गवर्नेंस फ्रेमवर्क इन इंडिया, पार्ट ऑफ इट. सो बिकॉज यू मेंशन्ड layman perspective, what is a layman's understanding of public centric data governance? If you can share a little more for our audience.
So Abhishek, public centric data governance is, kind of thing कि we need to share data so people or researcher can use those data for the public good. So suppose that if a medical practitioner wants to create some AI tool to understand a particular, some particular disease, maybe related to lung. So what kind of lung issue or lung disease people are facing in the Delhi? So for that, he needs some kind of a raw data from the people who are living in Delhi and facing some issue. अगर हम उस डेटा को प्रोवाइड ही नहीं करेंगे तो एआई टूल बनेगा कैसे? तो बहुत सारी जगहों पर उन लोगों ने एक्सरे को कलेक्ट किया और एक्सरे की इमेज कलेक्ट की और पता किया कि इस टाइप के इश्यूज आ रहे हैं और इसकी वजह से ये है. बहुत सारे आजकल एआई टूल आ गए हैं. बट फॉर दैट थिंग वी नीड सम सर्टेन पॉलिसी. पहली पॉलिसी ये होनी चाहिए कि लोग डेटा वॉलंटियर करें. दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव written a paper on DataDaan. It was a kind of a working paper, and और हमारा आइडिया था कि just need to volunteer data for public good. If you will not volunteer data, people will not able to use it, because India we don't have any certain such framework where we can volunteer data. If you want to volunteer certain data which is not harmful, some data are not harmful, some are data are not for the kind of a private consumption, some are public consumption. So अगर कुछ डेटा जो आप खुद वॉलंटियर करना चाहते हो, जस्ट लाइक इफ यू हैव सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ, अगर आपकी फैमिली में किसी का कुछ लैंड रिकॉर्ड है, किसी की कुछ जर्नी रही है, या कहीं पर कुछ मेडिकल रिकॉर्ड है, मे बी योर ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स. सो आप अगर उसको वॉलंटियर करना चाहते हो, यू डोंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ मैकेनिज्म. सो पहले हम मैकेनिज्म बनाएं जिसमें लोग जो हार्मलेस डेटा है उसको वॉलंटियर कर सके. देन ये भी इंश्योर कर सके वो डेटा किसी और यूज में नहीं आएगा. that can be used for the public good. So for that we need that kind of policy, such policy. Abhi after after writing our paper, after when we have introduced our working paper on DataDaan, government of India has launched a platform where you can volunteer data. They are working now. So it was one of the huge achievement as a organization and our partner organization. So we both have worked together and came with this paper, how people can volunteer the data.
That's great to know that how layman can uh, give their acceptably available data for policy creation in next stages. I think when we speak about data dan, a lot of people across different age groups are very afraid onto sharing this public data part of it. So do you think that having a wide scale awareness bit helps in implementing such a policy in that sense, where you're looking at achieving data in the long term? Because people are scared with the number of scams happening. They are very scared about what data should they be sharing, whether that'll come back to bite them or not. So for public, do you think how can they ensure that okay, all of this data is not coming to haunt them?
Harmful. Yeah. Abhishek, there is a two different thing, and और वो दोनों बहुत ही different है. First, global tech companies are taking our data and they are making tools, they are making use of it. Sometimes we understand because some notification comes on our screen कि ये data है, and that is the notification है 40 पेज लॉन्ग होता है, उसको पूरा पढ़ नहीं पाते हैं, एंड लॉट ऑफ कंडीशंस होती हैं, समटाइम वी हैव टू एक्सेप्ट, एंड वो डेटा हमसे लेती हैं एंड उसको कमर्शियली और यूज करती हैं. समटाइम वी एक्सेस सम वेबसाइट, समटाइम वी एक्सेस लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, वहां पर भी डेटा हमारा लिया जाता है, हमसे पूछा नहीं जाता है. सो whoever taking our data, sometimes they don't inform us. That is not illegal, but that is not legal, because in India we don't have such provision कि हम हमारा डेटा अगर कौन ले रहा है, कैसे ले रहा है, कि because अभी एक्ट नहीं बना, एक्ट इज नॉट इन फाइनल स्टेज. अब ये सारे लोग हमारा डेटा ले रहे हैं एंड दे आर यूजिंग इट, दे आर मेकिंग प्रोडक्ट, दे आर मेकिंग बाई प्रोडक्ट ऑन इट, एंड देयर आर पीपल, वो कुछ डेटा हमसे ले रहे हैं और अब वो डेटा जो ले रहे हैं वो हमसे नहीं ले रहे हैं, वो कभी थर्ड पार्टी से ले रहे हैं, फोर्थ पार्टी से ले रहे हैं. बहुत सारे हमारे डिजिटल फुटप्रिंट हैं, दे आर टेकिंग फ्रॉम दोज थिंग्स, और फिर उसको दे आर यूजिंग इन रॉन्ग वे, दे आर हार्मिंग अस. सो ये दोनों चीजें अलग अलग हैं, ये दोनों चीजें बिल्कुल अलग अलग हैं. एक जो आपके साथ स्कैम हो रहा है, फ्रॉड हो रहा है, जिसकी वजह से बहुत ज्यादा डर है, नॉट ओनली इन सोसाइटी, नॉट ओनली इंडियन सोसाइटी बट अदर पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड ऑल्सो. Those data are publicly available. They are not taking only from us, they are taking from lot of people. Because of this digital setup, we are leaving our digital footprint everywhere. They can get your kind of जो आपके फेस का जो स्क्रीनशॉट है, आपके एवरी जो आपके एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ योर बॉडी है, वो हर चीज कवर हो रही है, हर चीज कॉपी हो रही है एट लॉट ऑफ प्लेटफॉर्म्स. सो उस पर आप कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे हो, एंड दैट इज अवेलेबल. जब आपसे कुछ कोई और मांगने जाता है एंड यू आस्क लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, सो मुझे लगता है कि जो नहीं जिनको करना है ना, दे डोंट आस्क यू क्वेश्चंस. जो लोग मांगना चाहते हैं वो करते हैं. एंड वी हैव सीन लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स ड्यूरिंग इन पास्ट ऑल्सो, कि बहुत सारे टेक कंपनीज ने हमसे बिना बताए हुए डेटा ले लिया. जब बताते हैं तब आपको मालूम होता है कि आपका डेटा यहाँ यूज हो रहा है, whether you want to volunteer, whether you want to give or not. बट बहुत सारे ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां पर आपको डेटा बिना आपसे मांगे ही ले लिया जा रहा है. अनडाउटली गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का जो अभी एक्ट आने वाला है, अनडाउटली जो पास हो गया है, उसमें ये और क्लैरिटी आएगी कि कौन आपसे लीगली डेटा कैसा डेटा ले सकता है, उसकी क्या लिमिटेशन होगी, उसके उसका एक्सेस पॉइंट क्या क्या होगा. when we can have longer conversation and or more detailed conversation around this.
Absolutely. I think data protection is one of the issues that we are dealing as a society at large in that sense as well. We can definitely speak a lot more about it, but coming to the last segment of our conversation today, focusing on CP